Unlike the previous eras of WWE, everyone now knows that it's all scripted, and The Undertaker never actually got buried alive. It was a hard pill to swallow, but we still love pro wrestling. I'm sorry, sports entertainment. The devil's back in power, everybody. It's gotten fairly easy to understand the behind-the-scene booking aspect of WWE's shows, and you can tell when the promotion decides to pull the trigger on a specific talent's push, and in doing so, more often than not, end up burying the rest of its roster. However, there's been instances when the creative's plans badly backfired because the fans turned on the performer through no fault of their own, but just because WWE was shoving them down the audience's throat. And here's a list of 7 WWE Superstars that the WWE Universe absolutely despised because of the way that they were being booked. Are you happy, Vince? Number 7, Ronda Rousey. When the baddest woman on the second match in WWE and eventually won the Raw Women's Championship at that year's SummerSlam, the WWE Universe started to have mixed feelings about Ronda because some felt that her push came at the expense of far more deserving women on the roster, which was justified. After all, Ronda's debut at that year's Royal Rumble literally stole the spotlight from Asuka, the winner of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match, and to add salt to the wound, she also main evented WWE's first ever all-women premium live event, WWE Evolution, over Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch's last women standing match, the two pioneers of the women's revolution in WWE. Her subsequent feud with The Man didn't help her popularity either, since Lynch was a fan favorite at the time, and the WWE Universe ended up cheering for the heel Charlotte when she unloaded a barrage of kendo sticks on Ronda at that year's Survivor Series. Her 2022 return saw Ronda win the Royal Rumble, but it wasn't well received either, and her feud with Charlotte was mediocre at best, with Ronda receiving critique by the fans for her lack of character and mic skills. So when the Queen finally returned to end Ronda's god-awful SmackDown Women's Championship reign, the WWE Universe rejoiced. Number 6, Sheamus. Although the Celtic Warrior is a workhorse and a great performer who can deliver, but his meteoric rise to the top, winning the WWE Championship in an upset against John Cena in just 6 weeks after his main roster debut, earned him a lot of critique from the WWE Universe. Rumor has it, Sheamus started working out with Triple H, and the game saw something in the Irishman that accelerated Sheamus's push. During his first few years as a WWE superstar, it wasn't clear if Sheamus was supposed to be heel or face. Sure, he was being pushed by a babyface, but he was the worst at it, as Sheamus acted more like a schoolyard bully to other heels, and it didn't help that he had a very generic character. However, WWE still booked him to win the Royal Rumble, and Sheamus challenged Daniel Bryan for his World Heavyweight Championship in a feud that saw the WWE Universe cheer for the heel champion instead of the babyface challenger. The final nail in the coffin was the infamous 18-second squash match at WrestleMania 28 that turned the wrath of the entire wrestling community against Sheamus for the upset against indie darling, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. But it was WWE's horrible booking at fault for not giving two of the best in-ring performers enough time to put on a banger. Regardless, Sheamus was the ultimate shoved down our throat main eventer. Number 5, Lex Luger. After Hulk Hogan left the World Wrestling Federation in 1993, Vince repackaged Lex Luger as a patriotic, made-in-the-USA wrestler with the All-American nickname, essentially creating his replacement for Hogan, and debuted him on the 4th of July in an event aboard the USS Intrepid, where Luger arrived in a helicopter and body-slammed the near 600-pound kayfabe Japanese sumo wrestler Yokozuna. WWF did everything they could to establish Luger as the new Hogan, even going as far as doing the Lex Express tour of a red, white, and blue bus that traveled the country to promote his upcoming match for Yokozuna's WWF World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam 19 Countout, while keeping the title on Yokozuna. Number 4, Batista. Fresh off the heels of a successful Hollywood career, the Animal returned to WWE in 2014 to thunderous applause and announced his entrance into that year's Royal Rumble, but Vince screwed up by bringing Batista back as a face, since 2014 was the year of the Yes Movement. The entire WWE Universe was behind Daniel Bryan's underdog quest for the ultimate gold, and Batista winning the Royal Rumble would turn out to be a bad move on the creative's part, since the Pittsburgh crowd defiantly expressed their disappointment by showering the Animal with a chorus of boos. Worst of all, Bryan wasn't even in the Rumble, and because of the reaction that the WWE Universe gave Batista in the following weeks, WWE had no choice but to turn him heel. In a later interview, Batista himself said that he didn't want to return as a face since he knew that the fans would never accept him over DB, but the company didn't listen and wanted him to headline WrestleMania against the heel WWE champion Randy Orton. Regardless, WWE was smart enough to know that they couldn't deny the Yes Movement, and after months of struggle, Daniel Bryan ended up being added to the main event of WrestleMania 30 that ended with the GOAT's fairy tale ending on Bourbon Street. Number 3. Goldberg. Goldberg's return to WWE after 12 years was a movement that no wrestling fan will ever forget, and his iconic feud with Brock Lesnar, aka the monumental squash of the Beast at Survivor Series, was a great storyline that should have ended right then and there. There was no need for a WrestleMania match, and even if Vince wanted one, the feud didn't need a title, and the WCW legend had no business challenging for the Universal Championship. But he did, and buried Kevin Owens to win the title, just to lose it to Brock Lesnar at the grandest stage of them all. For those of you who don't know, Goldberg also ran Chris Jericho out of WWE, since the original WrestleMania plan was for Kevin Owens to defend the Universal Championship against the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, and Vince's last-minute change of plans made Jericho feel disrespected. If that wasn't enough, Goldberg also buried the Fiend Bray Wyatt at that year's Super Showdown to win the Universal Championship for the second time, because for some reason Saudi Arabia liked Goldberg and Vince did business. After that, the same fans that chanted his name booed Goldberg with a passion, but WWE continued to give him title shots at big PLEs after Goldberg would randomly show up out of nowhere and shout his contendership at a world champion, despite the WWE Universe having no interest in seeing him wrestle. Number 2. John Cena. There used to be a time when WWE had 3 to 4 megastars that would lead an era, like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Andre the Giant, or Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, and The Undertaker. But with John Cena, Vince bet the entire future of his company on one man, and born was the face that runs the place. For over a decade, WWE presented John Cena as its franchise player through an unrelenting Hogan-esque push, and although the WWE Universe loved Cena when he defeated JBL to win his first WWE Championship at WrestleMania 21, the leader of the C-Nation hoarded the main event picture and ended up winning the world title 15 more times after that. It didn't matter who Cena went up against, it always felt like WWE's end goal in storylines involving Cena was to make him look strong and armed with the proverbial golden shovel. Vince's Super Cena buried a long list of up-and-coming talent. That didn't sit well with the hardcore wrestling fans, who eventually turned on Cena due to his strong booking and let their voices be heard with the John Cena Sucks sing-along during his entrances and chants of Cena Sucks during his matches, against the kids chanting, "Let's go Cena." But you know who took the heat off of the "You Can't See Me" man? Number 1, Roman Reigns. After their split, every member of the Shield carved out their legacy as future Hall of Famers. However, Roman Reigns' run to the top was met with great disapproval by the WWE Universe, and his 2015 Royal Rumble win was such a disaster that even The Rock couldn't save his cousin from an arena full of boos. Wrestling journalists and fans brutally criticized Reigns for his perceived special treatment, limited wrestling moveset, and bad mic skills, but Vince McMahon had chosen Roman Reigns as the guy and stood firm in his plans of pushing the big dog as the next John Cena, aka the face of WWE. Vince did everything in his power to get Reigns over with the crowd, to the point where Reigns main evented 4 consecutive WrestleManias as the company's top babyface, constantly getting booed in high-profile matches against the likes of Brock Lesnar, Triple H, and even The Undertaker. WWE failed to capitalize on one of the loudest reactions in the modern era of professional wrestling, because after Roman Reigns seemingly retired, the venom at WrestleMania 33 and the WWE Universe erupted in a thunderous negative reception on the Raw after WrestleMania. Reigns laid the groundwork for a monumental heel turn in a one-line promo to let the whole world know that he runs WWE. But Vince continued to book Reigns as a babyface that would get booed out of the building every single night. Although the booking has vastly improved ever since Triple H took over creative and the product is far better than it has been in years, from what it looks like, it's only a matter of time before the devil ruins the fun. But tell me, who is the one wrestler on this list that you personally hated? Were you ever angry because of the fans turning on someone that you really liked? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching.